Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some information coming out here regarding this potential war between Israel and Hezbollah to share with you today. We're going to be talking about U.S. Army General Charles Brown. That's him right here in the photo for you. He's coming out and warning in the last 24 hours that the U.S. won't be able to protect Israel in the event that they go to war with Hezbollah. He's also warning that there is a major risk of an Iranian response in defense of Hezbollah if this war kicks off. So Iran could definitely get involved here. I've been talking a lot about this. I also have something to show you here in just a little bit that proves that this most likely will happen if Israel gets involved here. So we're going to be talking more about this U.S. Army General Charles Brown some more. And I've been talking about him, like I said, over the last few days. And I want to dive in deeper and discuss this topic with you because I think it's very important to understand that there's a very big possibility the U.S. could maybe just stick this one out and not get involved here. I think most likely they would, and maybe that's what they're trying to do is prevent themselves from getting involved here because maybe the U.S. doesn't want to be a part of this. But at the same time, Israel is a major ally to them in the Middle East, and they don't want to lose them as an ally, considering that they've invested so much into them. Okay, they give them weaponry all the time too. So this is obviously a big deal for the U.S. military as well. So I want to discuss this some more. Let's go ahead and get right into this. I've got a report here on AP. It says an Israel offensive into Lebanon risks an Iranian military response. Top U.S. military leader says. So this came out yesterday. The top U.S. military officer warned on Sunday that any Israeli military offensive into Lebanon would risk an Iranian response in defense of the powerful Hezbollah militant group there, triggering a broader war that could put the U.S. forces in the region in danger. So that's a big deal too, right? If they get involved here, if the U.S. does, this could put their other bases in the Middle East at risk. And, you know, we had attacks on U.S. bases many times, actually, well over 150 times throughout the beginning of this year. And it was just getting really bad when all these bases were coming under attack. We even had a base that was attacked. I believe it was in Jordan, in northeastern Jordan, that was hit. We had like 3 troops that were killed and dozens wounded in a drone attack there. So I'm sure the U.S. doesn't want to put themselves, with a target on their back again, like what they recently just had. So Air Force General C.Q. Brown, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said Iran would be more inclined to support Hezbollah. He added that Tehran supports Hamas militants in Gaza, but would give greater backing to Hezbollah, particularly if they felt that Hezbollah was being significantly threatened. Brown spoke to reporters as he traveled to Botswana for a meeting of African defense ministers. Israeli officials have threatened a military offensive in Lebanon if there is no negotiated end to push Hezbollah away from the border. Just days ago, Israel's military said it had approved and validated plans for an offensive in Lebanon, even as the U.S. works to prevent the months of cross-border attacks from spiraling into a full-blown war. So right as Israel approved and validated their plans for an offensive against Hezbollah, that's when we heard right away, just a few days ago, that the U.S. was saying they were going to get involved here and they would back Israel. Now we're kind of seeing a backpedaling event where this U.S. Army general is coming out and saying the opposite, that, you know what, maybe we can't defend Israel. Maybe we're not going to be able to get involved here because we don't want to risk Iran getting involved in this. So maybe they're just trying to shoot for more diplomatic reasons to try to end this. But as I understand right now, it doesn't look like this is going to happen. I've already seen many reports too of Israel starting to transfer troops and equipment to the northern side of the country, and they are preparing to go to war with Hezbollah here very soon. I just did a report this morning talking about the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has said that the war in Gaza is going to start to wind down here very soon. They will continue their operations, but not to the intensity that we're seeing right now, meaning they're going to start transferring many of their troops to the north. Netanyahu said Sunday he hoped a diplomatic solution could be achieved, but said he would solve the problem in a different way if needed. We can fight on several fronts, and we are prepared to do that, he said. U.S. officials have tried to broker a diplomatic solution to the conflict. The issue is expected to come up this week as Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant visits Washington for meetings with U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and other senior U.S. officials. U.S. President Joe Biden's senior advisor, Amos Hochstein, met with officials in Lebanon and Israel last week in an effort to de-escalate tensions. Hochstein told reporters in Beirut on Tuesday that it was a very serious situation and that a diplomatic solution to prevent a larger war was urgent. Brown also said the U.S. won't likely be able to help Israel defend itself against a broader Hezbollah war, as well as it helped Israel fight off an Iranian barrage of missiles and drones in April. It is harder to fend off the shorter range rockets that Hezbollah fires routinely across the border into Israel, he said. So that's something much different that Hezbollah does, is they'll fire hundreds and hundreds of rockets at a time, similar to what Hamas was doing, but Hezbollah's got way more rockets than Hamas did. So it says here, asked if U.S. has changed its force posture in the region to better assure troops are protected, he said the safety of the force has been a priority all along and noted that no U.S. bases have been attacked since February. So see, that's what I was talking about earlier, that a lot of bases were coming under attack towards the beginning of the year, and that ceased to exist right around that time of February or so. So I'm thinking that the U.S. just wants to stick this one out potentially and not be involved here again, because maybe they don't want their bases to come under attack again, and that's going to be a big problem for them. And obviously they want to maintain their bases throughout the Middle East. They don't want to pull out, at least not yet. So who knows? Will the U.S. get involved here or will they not? Let me know what you think down below. Excuse me. So it says here, Brown said the U.S. continues to talk with Israeli leaders and warn against widening the conflict. He said in a key message is to think about the second order of effect of any type of operation into Lebanon and how you might play out and how it impacts not just the region, but how it impacts our forces in the region as well. Pentagon officials have said that Austin has also raised concerns about a broader conflict when he spoke to Gallant in a recent phone call. Given the amount of rocket fire we've seen going from both sides of the border, we've certainly been concerned about that situation, and both publicly and privately have been urging all parties to restore calm along that border, and again, to seek a diplomatic solution, said Major General Patrick Ryder, the Pentagon press secretary, last week. A war between the two heavily armed foes could be devastating to both countries and incur mass civilian casualties. Hezbollah's rocket arsenal is believed to be far more extensive than Hamas's. Yes, we've heard that many times. We've even heard that, I just reported the other day that Hezbollah is coming out and saying they could be firing 500,000 rockets at one time, okay? Just in one salvo, they could do that. So imagine if they were to do that, how would Israel defend themselves in that kind of attack? And even if the U.S. was there to back them as well, how would the U.S. be able to shoot down 500,000 rockets, okay? Now, would Hezbollah actually do that? Who knows? That remains to be seen, but that's what they've come out and said, okay? Hezbollah's come out and said that they would fire that many rockets, okay? And they were saying something like 3,000 every day, even too. Okay, so imagine 3,000 rockets every day when as opposed to they were seeing maybe 1,000 or so in a month or in a week. Imagine 3,000 in one day. So this could be very difficult for Israel to defend from, and I'm sure they would have to evacuate many people on the northern side of the country and then also prepare air defenses for all the critical infrastructure that Hezbollah has been coming out and saying they would attack immediately, like the different ports they have. They have the port of Ashdod, the port of Haifa. They have like a nuclear power facility. Okay, they've got air bases. They've got all this critical infrastructure that Hezbollah could try to go after with missiles and strike these and try to destroy them. So Israel's got to be ready for a massive attack on themselves at the same time while they launch their own offensive against Hezbollah. So finally, I want to show you one last thing here regarding this topic. This is from Sprinter Family. Commander of the Ground Forces of the Army of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Amir Haydari. Any Israeli attack on Lebanon will be met with a befitting response, and the forces of the resistance axis will resolutely respond to any aggression against Lebanon. Okay, so this is from Iran's military. Okay, he's the commander of the ground forces of the Army of Islamic Republic of Iran. Okay, so if Hezbollah comes under attack, they will resolutely respond to any aggression, is what they were saying. Okay, that's what we're seeing here. So this is obviously a big deal, right? If Iran gets involved at the same time while the U.S. is involved in this war too, now we've got a major war breaking out in the Middle East. And Iran also has ties to Russia, and we see the way things are going on over there in Ukraine right now. So this is obviously a very big deal here, and this could definitely turn into a wide regional war, maybe even a world war if this really happens. So there's obviously a lot at stake here, and I'm sure the U.S. and Israel and Hezbollah and everybody's just kind of deciding, should we really do this? Is this something we really want? But I think in some ways Israel feels like they have no choice to do this, considering how much they've been attacked by Hezbollah, and Hezbollah refuses to move away from the border. At the same time, Benjamin Netanyahu's come out many times and said that they will not end the fighting in Gaza until Hamas is eliminated. So that's not going to end anytime soon, meaning that Hezbollah will continue attacking them until that war is over. So it's just an endless cycle here until we get into a major escalation between these two, Israel and Hezbollah. So let me know what you think down below. This is obviously a very crazy situation. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this, but that's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.